Straya. Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? Are you right? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Wednesday, April 30, hump day, and we just had a rip-snorted day of NBA playoff basketball. Oh, yes. I am your host, James Clements. This is NBA Australia. I'm in Larry Armour Studios, hanging out, giving you the lowdown, all things NBA. As per usual, what a day it was. Did we just see Giannis' last game as a buck? Question mark. Indy get through in a thriller. We see Boston smash Orlando. We got an absolute belter in Pistons Knicks. That was awesome. And then Denver belt to ass against the Clippers. Jeez, what a day. So we're going to talk about all of those games in the NBA Australia game race, but we've also got, of course, That's Not an iPhone, Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Bet on Lonzo Ball, Yeah, Nas, Unpopular, Pin of the Day, and Outback Takehouse. We also got a Rookie of the Year announced, though you might not have noticed it if you were paying attention, because apparently the NBA media just doesn't give a shit about the Spurs. Pretty good stuff there. Anyway, so we're going to cover all that. We've got a great moment in NBA Australia stat history and a pick and preview for the two games tomorrow. It should be a fun one. So let's just bloody well get into it. Episode 1258 of NBA Australia. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gay.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek.
This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia. You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
Well, you better. Or you better watch out for the Halliburton's father attack if you're Giannis Antetokounmpo. That was weird, wasn't it? Or you better watch out for the pants shitting of a Doc Rivers coach team once more. Oh, geez. It just keeps happening. We have no reason behind this apart from that guy over there who's the coach. Amazing. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Show with the daily. It's a whip around, that's right. Stephon Castle is the Rookie of the Year for 2024-2025. As I mentioned, you might not have heard about that because, I don't know, it was kind of weird. There wasn't a giant big hullabaloo about it. But anyway, he's my Rookie of the Year. He's your Rookie of the Year. Second straight Rookie of the Year for the San Antonio Banderas Spurs. Not bad. He got 92 first-place votes. 92. So everyone was kind of in agreement. Apart from the 5 folks who voted for Zachary Rissache. And the 3 people who voted for Jalen Wells in first place. Which is just... All right, are there 3 voters in the bloody Memphis greater area? That was wild. Anyway, I played 80 games as a rookie, did our man Stephon Castle. He was well deserving, I think. He started 47. He averaged like 14.7 points a game, 4.5 bit assists, 3.7 rebounds. Shot it pretty well. And as I sort of like banged on about all year, got better and better and better because he was attending the Chris Paul University of Point Guardery skills for good point guards. And that was awesome. What a year of learning under the old master, the point guard, who's never won a bloody thing. But anyway, he's still very good at point guarding, isn't he? So, that's good. Good job, Stephon Castle. Good job, Spurs. You nailed that pick. I enjoyed that. Other news. We've got plenty today. The Sacramento Kings apparently are finalizing a deal with Doug Christie to become their new coach full-time. You might remember, he took over from Mike Brown last year, did an okay-ish kind of job here and there. At the same time, it's still the Kings. It doesn't matter. They're fucked no matter what, because they're the Sacramento Kings, and that's just who they are. God bless their cotton little socks, but they'll somehow find a way to fuck this up completely and devolve back into even more irrelevance as per usual. That's just what the Kings do. Remember when Vivek bought this team and was like, we've gotten rid of the Maloofs. Fuck those guys. Now we're like, we've got Vivek. This is going to be great. And he's just been shit. It's almost like you can't just escape the stink of the Sacramento Kings. It's weird. Anyway, I'm just saying, put me in charge, I'll fix it. Doug Christie, look, I think he did a pretty good job-ish. It felt like some of the tactical stuff was a little bit lacking. Some of the preparation stuff wasn't great, but I think the players sort of all bought into what he was saying, so that's kind of okay. The other good one is Adam Silver was asked, "Hey, Adam, are you going to do like something good for All-Star?" And he's like, "Yes, we're working on it. I think we're going to look at doing an international series." So Team USA versus Team World for All-Star next year? Question mark? Looks like it's on the bloody cards, which is very exciting. This is obviously something we've been banging on about for fucking ages because I think the NBA is also, it's a weird one because it wants to be a trendsetter, the NBA. And then it sort of tries something and half-asses it and fucks it up and it's always a bit shit. And the NHL, they did their All-Star game as like the international series, and it was a giant fucking hit. And the NBA is like, we better do that then. That's pretty cool. It's like, we're all fucking yelling about this like 3 years ago, you idiots. What are you doing? Instead of fucking around with 4 teams in a tournament. Anyway, what a fucking shit show. I'm just saying, as per usual, my candidacy for Vice President of Common Fucking Sense is right there. My price does keep going up, however, Adam, because you keep fucking shit up. Anyway, other little bits and bobs. Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki together again. Love this. Steve Nash will be apparently on Amazon's NBA call, which is very fun. Part of the studio team, alongside his old mate, Dirk Nowitzki. They'll get on the tins, cause some havoc in the Dallas area. What do you reckon? Probably not, but still. Blake Griffin, Taylor Rooks are a part of that one as well. It's pretty cool. Don't mind that. And then the other one, which I found kind of interesting. It's a little bit, it's not really that nerdy, but it's more about the amount of folks who have filed as early entrance candidates for the draft this year. And you might be like, geez, Jim, what does that matter? Well, it's like, there's 60 draft spots, right? And you think about all the folks who are like, can you please draft me NBA teams? The pool of which players you can sort of, draft from, back in 2021, it was 353 players put their hands up. Then it was 283. Then it was 242. Last year was 195. Now it's 106. That's a dramatic drop-off. Maybe we actually do see Rocco drafted. I love a bit of Rocco Zikarsky. That'll be fun. Anyway, a bit of a crazy one, bit strange, but 106. This has obviously got to do with NIL. If you can make money in college, you're not going to be so sort of like, oh, God, I'm desperately needing money. I've got to go play in the NBA. If you're decent enough-ish to get on NIL cash, you might just stick around for an extra year or two in college. So it's working out for the colleges. It'll be interesting to see what the NBL do now, right, with Knicks stars, because obviously that was a really, really, really important program when college couldn't pay their dudes. It was like a really awesome alternate. And now because colleges have like a shit ton of cash they're throwing around, what do the NBL do? I don't know. They've still got some good dudes in the system, but anyway, we'll have to have our man Liam Santamaria on to talk about it. Anyway, that's some news. Some pretty good stuff. We've got a new coach. We've got a Rookie of the Year. No more injury stuff, really. All-star stuff. That was fun. All right, let's do some game wraps. Game wraps. That's right, the game wraps from today. Woo, boy. We had 2 absolute crackers and one that was pretty good for half of it and then turned into a shit pumping. And then the third one, Denver just fucking straight killed the Clippers, didn't they? It was a bit weird. Whoops, that's the wrong button. It's too far away. I've got to figure out this fucking setup. Anyway, they got straight killed.
So he got straight killed.
All right. Let's start with Milwaukee. It's Algonquin for not the good land because they lost in Indy, didn't they? 119-118 in overtime. And Doc Rivers is undefeated at blowing playoff series. Amazing. Great start from the Bucks in this game. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Indy fought back. Like, they were down 20. Like, it was crazy. The Bucks were up so big. And you're like, you were always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then it sort of dropped and Indy just reeled them in. Like, they were up 59-56 early in the third. Bucks went on like another big run to take it back. There was a couple of big threes. And like in this third quarter, like they're getting lots of stuff from everybody. Like AJ Green was knocking in shots. Bobby Portis was doing a little bit of something. Gary Terrence Trent D'Arby Jr., he woke up late and then got them basically all the way to the finish line until he cooked it. But Giannis was still very, very, very good. You had these moments of like AJ Green knocking in threes, Kevin Porter Jr. doing good stuff. And then it's like 75 after three quarters. And you're like, oh, hang on. I think Indy are okay. And then they sort of get up because of TJ McConnell. They're feeling pretty good. And there's this interesting moment where Kevin Porter Jr. has a steal. Did he throw some soup at somebody in gym? No, he didn't. They basically stopped a bit of Indy momentum out of nowhere because he got a steal. And you're like, that's handy. Boom, they get a couple of threes. They're suddenly up with like a minute 20 left in this game. After Gary Terrence Trent D'Arby Jr. and AJ Green hit some threes. Then there's a couple of massive buckets from the Pacers down the stretch. Naismith. Then obviously Halliburton. They force overtime after Giannis misses a free throw in there. Then in overtime, it's Gary Terrence Trent D'Arby Jr. time. It's all over Red Rover. He's knocking in threes. He's hitting 4 straight. It's absolutely fucking chaos. They're crushing it. He won them the game. Until he didn't. It was fucking crazy. The same thing had happened with Giannis. He won them the game in regulation until he didn't. Because the resilience of this Pacers team is absolutely fucking crazy. I don't know how they kept coming back. Their poise, their composure was really, really good. And it's the exact opposite of a Doc Rivers coached Milwaukee Bucks team or any sort of Doc Rivers coach team, right? So you have this awesome, like Nembhard, I think, smokes a 3, gets it back down to 4 points with 30 seconds left after they were down 7 with 30 seconds left. They force a turnover, hit a 3, and then basically get another bucket in there. You're right there. It's a 2-point game. They get a turnover on the last Bucks possession. Skadoosh! Tyrese Halliburton skies through it all. Bang with the game-winning layup, the go-ahead layup. They then launch a, desperation heave at the end of it. Game over. Pacers pull off the comeback. They score 8 points in 34 seconds. It's Reggie Miller's shit all over again. It's just what they do. But if there was anyone who could blow a 7-point lead in 30 seconds, it's Doc Rivers, baby! Anything is possible! Remember when he was good? Jesus. What a comeback by the Pacers. They were awesome. Anyway, Bucks, 19 of 40 from downtown. Very, very good game for them, right? Giannis was absolutely stupendous. He finishes with 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 13 assists. If this is his last game as a Milwaukee Buck, and it very, very, very well could be, which we'll talk about later, what a fucking game. 2 steals and 2 blocks as well, 9 of 17 shooting, 11 of 17 at the free throw line. I think he started like fucking 2 or 6 or whatever. Gary Trent Jr., what a game from Gary Terrence Trent D'Arby Jr. 33, 5 steals. We're at 8 of 17 from downtown. He was absolutely chaotic. I think he started 0 of 6. And then hit, 8 of 9 or 8 of 11 like the rest of the way. It was absolutely nuts. AJ Green hit 6 threes. He had 19. Fighting Bobby Porter's fighting around the world. Had 14 and 10. And Kevin Porter Jr. was handy, but without the sort of... Kevin Porter Jr. was an interesting sort of dude in this game, right? Gary Terrence Trent D'Arby Jr. ended up being the guy who just like goes completely in fuego. He's harder than fish grease kind of vibes. And KPJ was always just looming and he didn't quite have that little oomph to help them forget that they were missing Dame Lillard, and here we are. The Pacers, look, incredible end for this game for Halliburton. He was amazing. 26, 5, and 9 with 3 steals and 3 blocks. He was awesome. His dad's out there running out there to talk shit to Giannis after the game. That was fucking weird. Turner had 21 and 9. Naismith, 19, 12 rebounds and 3 assists. He was really good. He has sneakily been fantastic. Nembhard, 15. Siakam had a quiet one, 10 and 4, but still had a couple of big buckets in the fourth quarter. TJ McConnell carried this team for large sways of the second half. He ends up with 18 points, but your Indiana Pacers win the series 4-1 out of absolutely fucking nowhere, and now they have to go and take on
Cleveland.
Crazy. That series is going to fucking rock. That was awesome. What a great game. What a finish. Absolute chaos. Free basketball. You had game winners from Giannis, Gary Terrence Trent D'Arby Jr., and then actually from Halliburton. Like, it was just fucking great. This is just like what we live for. That game ruled. So did Detroit at the New York Knickerbockers of New York City, because the Knicks are there trying to close out a fucking playoff series on their home court for the first time this century. And of course, they don't. 106-103, the Knickerbockers lose to the Detroit basketballing Pistons. Slog of a start of a game. Don't get it twisted. Like, it was just, no one was scoring. It was just back and forth. It was an arm wrestle. It was 50-49 at the half. Detroit's defense was like surprisingly excellent. It's also one of those things like, is the Knicks offense just shit? And you're like, well, kind of, yeah. It's like a lot of Brunson, a lot of Cat. And hey, is Mikal Bridges going to hit a shot tonight? Maybe. It's a lot of that. This is what happens when you only play 5 fucking dudes. The other Mitch Robinson actually played tonight. He was really good. But Detroit got up 10 in the third quarter because Orsar Thompson, there we go. The other Thompson twin. Love that band, man. 10 points in the third quarter they get up. They start 8 of 12 from the floor. The Knicks can't hit a shot. Then bang, the Knicks turn it back on. Off they go. 71-70 with 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Thompson's gone to the bench. It's boom. It's a 9-0 Knicks run. And you're like, aha, I think he's important to this team. Cat hits a big three. Like, the Pistons got back up 95-90 after this massive Cade 3 in the fourth quarter. But there was like this sort of moment from the Knicks where they could have taken control of the game at the end of the third quarter. They had 2 straight turnovers in the last minute of the third quarter. It's 77-74 going to the fourth quarter. Boom, the Knicks have a lead in the fourth quarter multiple times. Cat hits this huge 3. It's 95-95. Cade and Durant turn around and get it back. Off they go. Brunson is suddenly twisted his ankle. He's on the sideline. They can't get him in, nor would Josh Hart. It's crazy. Bridges misses a 3, gets a 2. It's 101-97. Thompson is found under the bucket by Cade Cunningham. Bridges hits this insane 3 off an inbound. It's a huge shot, 103-100. Pistons nearly turn the ball over on the inbounds. They go 1 or 2 from the free throw line from Dennis Schroeder. OG just throws up a prayer. It goes in. It's 104-103. But Cade hits both of his free throws with 5.5 seconds left. Pistons up 3. Deuce McBride they intentionally fouled. Deuce McBride misses the first one. They can't do the back tap for the 3. But it was weird because the Knicks should be better. Their defense should be better. And it's kind of just not. Like, the Pistons are like running a lot of shit through Tobias Harris. Just going, Tobias Harris at the nail. We'll see what happens here. And you're like, okay, Tobias at the elbow. What's going to happen now? And you're like, oh, he's created something. And meanwhile, it's just like, okay, we'll just have Cade up the top, causing all sorts of havoc. Orsar will be running around, these sick back cuts, hitting these jumpers. The Knicks cooked it. And the Pistons, and this is a crucial thing for a young team, a young, inexperienced, collectively sort of team. They do have Tim Hardaway the lesser. They've got Malik Beasley. They've got Dennis Schroeder. They've got Tobias Harris. That's a fucking bunch of vets. But this team hasn't played together through a bunch of fucking playoff series, right? For them to hold their nerve and win this game was awesome. Like, the bit where it was like 95-95, Knicks are just fucking coming at them hard. Cat's feeling it. And they just couldn't do it, the Knicks. Awesome game. Awesome game. For the Knickerbockers, only 16 points on 4 of 16 for Jalen Brunson. Karl-Anthony Towns shot 5 of 14 for his 17 and 11 rebounds. Bridges, 17 and 6, but shot 7 of 16. Are you noticing a trend? Yes, Jim, they were all very inefficient. This might be the big problem when you get to the fucking playoffs and you've played 6 dudes all season, Tibbs. Just saying. Bing bong. Anyway, OG was really good, 19 and 8. Josh Hart, 15, 7 and 6. And of course, they're now getting nicked up, aren't they? Like, Brunson hurts his foot. Hart hurts himself. The other Mitch Robinson was really good, 13 and 11. But because it's like, it's campaign. And Deuce McBride. And you're like, that's fine-ish. But Tibbs is just like, I don't trust these fucking guys. Sit down. And like, the defense is just not good enough for this Knicks team. Even if the Knicks win this series, they're going to get fucking steamrolled by Boston. So anyway, Knicks are still up 3-2 in this series. I cannot wait for Game 6 of this series in Detroit. Then, another elimination game. Say bye-bye to the Orlando 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic, 120-89. It ends up as an absolute shit pumping.
So he got straight killed.
It was not like that until the third quarter. Boston's offense was in the mud. They didn't hit a three in the entire first half. Great response from Orlando. Like, they came out feeling good. They're on the road. They just fucking muddied up the game. It's exactly the way that you give yourselves a chance. And it just wore them down. They just ran all those threes off for Boston, but it fucked them up in the end. It was 49-47 at the half. Boston had not made a three-pointer in the first half. The first time that's happened all season. That's insane. Insane. But they had shot 62.5% on their threes. So that's why they were still in it. It was a grind in the third quarter. But then what? Paolo picks up a couple of fouls. It's 53-53. And then the Celtics go, hang on a second. Fuck this. A 30-9 run. Basically, it was like 58-59. And that's when it really kicks in, right? They go 24-4 to close out the third quarter. Literally, you turn around, it's 83-62 going to the fourth quarter, and you're like, oh, well, it's Orlando. They can't score. They're fucked. And guess what? They were fucked. So, like, Pritchard hit a three. Like, they didn't hit a three. Like, they were, 1 of 10 from downtown? And then they still end up hitting 13 of 24. That's how much that avalanche in the second half kicked in. Tatum got going. Pritch got going. The Magic were gassed. It was all over. They'd taken 13 more shots than Boston and were down 25 points. Absurd gear. The wheels came off. Pack her up, boys. The Celtics are up 25 with 5 minutes left. It was a bloodbath. So, Paolo Banchero, Manchon Bancheros, 19-9-6. Shoot 6 of 15. Some fucking shitty fouls on there on Paolo. Did not like that. Let Paolo play. Seriously, it's Orlando. What are they going to do? Franz Wagner, hello, had 25, 4 and 4. Very solid as well from him. Enjoyed that. Just imagine, and repeat it after me because you've heard me say it before. Just imagine if they had a point guard, Jim. I fucking know. Just come on, what are we doing? Wendell Carter Jr. had 12 and 10. They had literally nothing else in this game. No one else could hit a shot. It was fucking brutal. Just give us Jalen Suggs back for this Magic team and get them an actual point guard to help Anthony Black develop, and away they go. We'll talk about them again later, but yeah, this is always the fear with the Magic. Outside of Paolo and Franz, what the fuck else is there? If Cole Anthony's not fucking firing up a million shots and actually hitting some, they're fucked, and he wasn't able to all series, basically. For the Celtics, look, 35 from Tatum. He was fucking stupendous. For a dude who's got a fucked wrist, that was awesome. Now they get a nice big bunch of time off because the Knicks can't close out the Pistons. So they're just sort of hanging out now. This is great timing for the Celtics. Jalen Brown had 23, 6 and 3. Pritch better have my money. He had 10 points. Horford had 9, 6 and 4, just sort of doing everything. The Extreme Zinger Meal.
Extreme Zinger Meal.
With his gash on his fucking forehead, looking like the unicorn with its horn chopped off. 9, 2 and 1. Couldn't get much going either. Derek White had a really quiet game, which really was a bit of a surprise. 5, 4 and 5. And it's like one of those ones you go, aha, how do you slow down Boston? Don't let him hit their threes. Slow down Derek White. And Jason Tatum went, that's cute, fuck you. Boston win 4-1. They ran right over the top of them. Now they get to basically have like most of a week off waiting for the Knicks to Pistons to finish each other off. So, and then finally, another shit pumping in the end, 131-115. The Nuggets just smoked the Clippers. This was weird as fuck because they got straight killed.
So he got straight killed.
And you're sort of watching this game, and as it's unfolding, you're like, Denver. They still have this top level, this extra gear to kick it into, perhaps. And so very much of that just simply relies on Jamal Murray not being shit. Like, that's all it comes down to sometimes. That and Rusty Westbrook deciding to hit every fucking shot he took today. But this game was wicked for a big chunk of it. And if you're a Denver believer, which I had been all year, and then just watching the first 3 games of this series, I'm like, no, the Clippers are a much better team. This is fucked. And then that completely discounted the fact that they're the Clippers. You know? Like, to lose that fucking buzzer-beating dunk game at home is still an all-time kick in the dick. To lose the first game of this series, kick in the dick. But you've got the wall. You've got your fans. You had your comeback the other day. And you fucking were at 2-2 going back to Denver. I trusted the Clippers to go, that's cool. That's fine. We're better. We're fine. Dear listeners, they were not fine. Narrator. Bogdan Bogdanovic was good. He had 18 points in this one, 5 assists. He hit some threes. You're like, this is good. Unfortunately, in much the same way that Doc Rivers is like, what's that? We're up by 7 in an elimination game. All right, boys, check this out. Let's fuck this one up pretty badly. James Harden is still on the LA Clippers, remember? And you'd have to remember that because if you watch this game, you'd be like, what does James Harden do? Does he do many things that are good? And if you watch this game, your answer be a resounding fucking nah. 11 points for Harden. Fat man who balaclana. 5 assists, 4 turnovers. At some point, they're just like, fuck it. You go guard Nikola Jokic. And like Harden's giving away stupid fucking cheap fouls. He shot 3 of 9, went 0 of 2 from downtown. And it's pretty funny because this is the James Harden experience. You get further into the playoff series, the shitter he gets. He might have a 40-point game in game 6 at home though, which is fascinating. But I also want to check out the direct correlation on just how good some of the strip clubs are there in Colorado because if they're good, we knew that he might have been shit. We should have checked this. Now he's going home to LA. Maybe all those like strippers he's putting through college are like happy to see him again and maybe he's in a good mood and he plays really well. And then we'll see what happens in game 7. But either way, this was a shocking game for the Clippers. Norm Powell couldn't get going. Zoobs is really good, 27-5. Kawhi felt a little bit off. He went 3 of 7 from the free throw line, Kawhi, which is just like, what are we doing here? It's a bit weird, right? Yeah, it was just a bit weird. Like, it's just a bit strange of Kawhi to be like that off. He ends up with 20 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. Jim, he's not that off, but it was just, he never took quite a full control of this game because Jamal Murray was doing all sorts of crazy shit. Rusty was hitting all sorts of weird shots. Aaron Gordon was unstoppable. Michael Porter Jr. popped up for some crazy stuff. And Nikola Jokic had like a super quiet offensive game. And they still kicked the fuck out of the Clippers. At which point you're going to go, come on, man, what are we doing here? Like, it didn't feel like the Clippers did too many things wrong, but they got the shit kicked out of them. That's probably because the Clippers went, 51% from 3? 17 of 33. Not bloody bad. You hit 6 more threes than the other team, and you hit them at a 51% clip, you're going to be all right for most of these games. But Jamal Murray was the story here. 43 points, 7 assists. He was awesome. 8 of 14 from downtown. Absolutely crushed it. Jokic still has a triple-double, 13, 10, and 12. But he shot 4 of 13. It felt like Zoobs did a pretty bloody good job against him, but geez. It didn't matter because Rusty has 21 points. He went 3 of 6 from downtown. That's found money. Aaron Air Gordon, 23 and 4. He was absolutely awesome. Just found money again. These weird junk buckets under the basket, like a loose ball gets kicked out, boom, he's like underneath the basket, just dunking it and shit. Michael Porter Jr., 14, 2 and 1. He hit 3 threes. Christian Brown, 11 and 12. He was really, really good. But it was just this sheer awesome offense, like clicking all at once for Jamal, for AG, for Rusty, that you're just like, oh, yeah, this sometimes just happens. But the Clippers, your defense should be too fucking good for that to happen. And it just feels like they're a little bit wonky. They don't really know who, like if Harden's a little bit off, if Powell's not hitting shots. So he goes 5 of 12 today, 1 of 5. What are their answers? And they don't, like Bogdan was really good. He should be the guy doing the Powell stuff in a game like this. But Harden was also shit. So he's kind of doing the Harden thing. He can't also do the power thing. Like Chris Dunn had 15 points. He went 3 or 4 from deep. Again, that's found money, but they had fuck all else. Derek Jones Jr., not quite there. He had, 7 points in his 14 minutes. Ben Simmons was useless as tits on a bull. And boom! Denver Nuggets are up 3-2 in this series out of fucking nowhere when they should have been down 3-0. It's 3-2, going back to LA. That's awesome. Let's do an NBA Australia approved performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Whoa, that's a knife. With honourable mentions, we've got to go to obviously Jason Tatum was very, 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 very good. Giannis, 30, 20, and 13. 2 steals, 2 blocks. We're like, what the fuck? That's incredible. Gary Trent Jr., what a game. Starts 0 of 7 from downtown, then goes 8 of 10 the rest of the way. Basically wins in that game until he loses it for him and fumbles the ball out of the bounds. But we've got 3 clear ones. Tatum, absolutely just stellar when he really kicked it into gear in that third quarter. Tyrese fucking Halliburton quite literally had the dagger, game-winning go-ahead bucket down the stretch. The bucket to get him overtime as well. Amazing gear. 26, 5, and 9 with 3 steals and 3 blocks. He was absolutely awesome. He hit a 3 as well early in the fourth when it was just getting a little bit squirrely on them. Drags them back into it. It's like one of those ones that's like a 5-point margin. If you don't score on this trip, we're in a bit of trouble. He hits a 3 and you're like, aha, we're back in business. So good job by Pacers man Halliburton. But obviously it's got to be Jamal Murray. Absolutely from out of nowhere, 43 points. He was absolutely fucking sick. And it's like pretty funny when they're like, oh, you know, this is like his highest scoring playoff game outside the bubble. And you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all aware. But still, that was unreal. 43, 5, and 7 with 3 steals. Just a nice reminder that he is an absolute fucking weapon when he's healthy, when he's good, when he's feeling okay and he's not sick. 17 to 26 from the floor, 8 of 14 from downtown. Jam Jamal Murray. That's the performance of the night. What a bloody game. Flip side, who was the Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. Fat man who Ballyclan. Oh, is this a crucial playoff game? What's that over there? Oh, is it James Harden shitting himself? Who could have seen that coming? Except for fucking everybody. 11, 8, and 5, but with 4 turnovers, 3 of 9 shooting, 0 of 2 from downtown, and even 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Like, Harden's a great free throw shooter. It was fucking weird to see him miss a bunch. It's like, what the hell is going on here, man? We also had the awesome Orlando triumvirate. That's right. Corey Joseph, 0 of 5. Cole Anthony, ass cold. Anthony, 1 of 6. And KCP, the notorious KCP, go 3 of 9. Anytime your biggest, like your big guard rotation dudes can combine to shoot 4 of 20 in an elimination game, you got to take it. And of course, Kyle Kuzma. Remember him? He's shit. That was 13 minutes. He had 5 points. He went 2 of 5 from the floor, 5 rebounds and a turnover. What do you do with Kyle Kuzma? It's like, I thought you were meant to be good. Remember when you were like, I don't want to be traded. I like it here in Washington. I think it's because you're a fucking loser. Holy shit. In a massive game where it comes right down to the wire, they just can't play the fucking dude. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Pretty funny though, to be honest. Because Jesus, Kyle Kuzma, Ben Simmons, cut from the same cloth in my vibes. Yeah, just saying. And we better just do one last check to make sure that no one shot the magic number for today. Because I don't want to miss it. It's, you know, we've got limited time left in this season. We're going to get all the magic numbers that we can, he says. Nobody else, I think, had that one. No. We are good, I believe. Just check on the 3s. And I don't think so. Yeah, I thought I checked it. Good stuff. Who's old mate? No mates, though.
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Well, Jalen Duren to Jalen Brunson. This is a bit of Jalen on Jalen crime today. You flopping motherfucker. I loved it. It's just great lip reading. Jalen Brunson's on the ground. Jalen Duren's like, you flopping motherfucker. We need more players to be calling out bullshit flops, specifically to the other players, to the refs, and to the media. Like, we need more of this. Like, we just saw Tyler Hero fucking get all up in arms about, I can't believe Darius Garland said that their game plan was attack Tyler Hero and, like, look after the ball. Boo-hoo-hoo. And then they got their fucking ass beat by 30 back-to-back games. Anyway. Jalen Duren to Jalen Brunson, you flopping motherfucker. That's awesome. But then, yesterday, after the Houston Golden State game, Jimmy Butler says, get me on record. I don't like Dylan Brooks. Oh, this is awesome. That is just, I want to be on record as well. I've got a lot of problems with a lot of people. That'll be an off-season show. Jim's got a lot of problems with you people. And I'll just sit here and just go, Reggie Miller, Greg Anthony, and just start listing names and just like putting them on blast. Draymond Green. Who else? I don't know. Like Kane Corns. Yeah, there we go. That guy sucks. Anyway, who else? What else? I love it. Just get him on blast. Good stuff, Jimmy Butler. Dylan Brooks is like, whatever. I've just been, completely castigated on Inside the NBA. Jimmy Butler's calling me out. This will be fine. I'm a good player. No, you're not. Pantsing of the night. It's a Doc Rivers special again. Seriously. Oh, is this a tight playoff game? We're up 7 in overtime with 36 seconds left. Boys, trust me, I've got this one. A few moments later. Tyrese Halliburton's dad's out there talking shit to Giannis. That was an all-time pantsing. Seriously, 8 points they score in the last 36 seconds. The sheer lack of composure from the Bucks versus the composure of the Pacers was absolutely stunning. It was crazy. So good job by the Pacers. Absolute pantsing of themselves almost by the Bucks. Classic Doc Rivers. All right, and then finally, better than Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
And for better than Bronny James, Lonzo Ball, and Ben Simmons today, we had some really, really good performances from some young players today. So Christian Brown, really, really, really good for the Denver Nuggets, even though it's like, oh, but Jimmy had 11 points. They were big 11 points, if you know what I'm saying. 11, 12, and 3, as well as 2 steals, I think, for Christian Brown. He was really, really, really good. It was also fun because I think on the broadcast at one point, someone called him Chris Brown, and I'm like, aha, that's why he goes by Christian. 19 points for AJ Green. He was unreal. 6 of 10 from downtown. And of course, Ausar Thompson, who's out there going, I'm awesome. Check this out. 22 and 7 for this Pistons team. Absolutely crucial. And to the point where you're like, hang on, which one's the better one? Amen or Ausar? Because, Amen's been fantastic for the Rockets. Ausar's had like a couple ups and downs here. He was fucking sick today. So great job by Ausar Thompson. And all of them better than just Benny Simmons by a fucking straight. It was crazy. All right, let's do some, what is it? Yeah, Nars, right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do some yeah nahs. Remember, these are brought to you by Jim a Beer. You can go, there's a link in our bio as well. If you want to shout us a beer, go do that. It'd be much appreciated. Or you can jump on the old dabble as well, which we'll talk about when we get to the picks. Use that code NBA Australia. Help your mate Jim out. All right, we've got some yeah nahs here. Matty O, hey Jim, just thinking out loud here. Surely no one is going to go all in for KD this offseason after seeing the Bucks, Dame, Philly, Paul George, and the Mavs, Davis, all picking up old dudes and then failing to make the playoffs or about to get rolled. Surely the OKC, Cavs, Rockets, and Pistons way of thinking is best, i.e. build a young, hungry, talented squad and have manageable and sustained success over a long period versus a win-now attitude, brackets high risk, e.g. the Suns. Yeah, nah. Yeah. That's exactly what they should be doing. The problem is, Matty, is it's really fucking hard to do that if you're OKC, if you're the Rockets, if you're Detroit. Detroit literally has spent fucking the last decade and a half in absolute basketballing purgatory. They went all in with the Blake Griffin trade, all that sort of shit. That all falls apart. They sort of have like these shitty draft picks here and there. They land on Cade finally with the number 1 pick. And it's now sort of starting to coalesce because they've got Cade, they've got Orsar, they've got Jalen Duren. That's pretty cool. It's also fucking tough. The Rockets, the same sort of thing. They did the Harden trade. They go in all in for like Chris Paul, then Russell Westbrook. They had Dwight Howard. They had the Clint Capella stuff. Like, it's almost like the Rockets sort of went through this painful period of rebuilding for a bunch of seasons and then just have a bunch of young dudes. They also brought in some vets, which is what the Pistons did. They sort of had this young core, added some wily vets who weren't exactly superstars and weren't going to break the bank. And I think that's the key part. Because the Cavs, they brought in Donnie Mitchell. They, big trade for him with Utah, but they also had the nascent sort of talent base already there with Go the Fro Jared Allen, with Mobley, with Darius Garland. So they sort of needed that one extra bit just to sort of push that all along a bit quicker. That worked. OKC, they are just got, I don't know, they've just got dudes that they've drafted and they're all fucking awesome. Like, it's crazy. The thing is, that's really, really hard. It's extremely hard to do. And ownership across the NBA is so much more willing to go with the Nico Harrison guaranteed. Here's this sure thing. Here's Anthony Davis. He's going to, defense wins championship, says Nico the moron. Yeah, we get it. But you know what's also really good? Just building a really fucking good defense around one of an all-time great offensive creators in Luka Doncic. Anyway, the thing is, it's more like Philly going all in with Paul George with that monster contract. Dame, small point guard, bringing him in next to Giannis. It's just a big roll of the dice. Their big problems were the drafting behind them was always a bit shit. The Mavs have got like a fairly decent talent base because they hit on the Derek Lively pick. They've got some other dudes around that, but they don't have all these rookies and young dudes coming through like OKC, the Rockets, and the Pistons do. And the Suns are just in this weird fucking purgatory where they're just like, let's go trade for Kevin Durant. And that fucked them because they had a new owner. Yeah, everybody should look to the way that OKC have built, the way that the Rockets have built, the way that the Pistons have built. The thing is, it's so much more like the exception to the rule. Like, I feel like the Pelicans have drafted really well and they're still shit house, right? The Spurs, outside of Wemby, you'd sort of look at that and go, well, what have they got outside of Wemby over the last 10 years? Like, since Kawhi moved along, fucking not much. They tried the DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge shit, and it didn't work. It's bizarre. Anyway, the Bucks sort of went all in for Jrue Holiday, got them a title. They went all in for Dame Lillard, and it backfired, and it's kind of fucked them. But I don't know. I feel like KD, if he goes to the right situation, and the same sort of thing happens with Giannis, I think those stars have to look at the infrastructure of those teams that they would be going to and look at it and go, right, is there a young talent base? Do we have a really deep, talented roster that I can just be additional to rather than central to perhaps to really push this along? And if that's the answer, go there. Like, that's why if I'm like, I don't know, KD, he's not going to go back to Brooklyn. Right? They're shit. But if you go to Houston and like Phoenix gets a bunch of picks, maybe some, young stud kind of dudes like Reed Shepherd, etc., maybe that works. But yeah, building that young, talented squad is really fucking hard because you got to hit these draft picks. And that's why OKC have all the draft picks in the world, because they know that the hit rate on those draft picks is fucking tough and really hard. So good on them. But anyway, it's a really good point. Building young squads is way more fun. It's also way more dangerous. And if you're probably going to get fired, right? If you don't do it that way. Like Daryl Morey's entire thing, we need big superstars. It's like, oh yeah? How's that worked out in Philly? Oh, that's right. You've not made a fucking conference final. Anyway, Anthony G. The lower scoring slugfest in the playoffs, at least in these close games, are much more enjoyable to watch than the 140 to 130 games during the regular season. Intense defensive basketball and watching players struggle in the moment is compelling viewing. Hashtag yeah nah yes. I love this. But this is like, I hate the whinging and the bitching and moaning about the current NBA. It's like, oh, all it is threes and layups. It's like, yeah, but the teams that are actually kicking ass and winning in these playoff games are the ones that can actually ratchet up their defense. And to sort of see a team like Detroit go, haha, sucked in, Knicks, check this out. And the Knicks going, fuck, what do we do? It is wildly compelling. Same with like Denver versus the Clippers. That's been wildly compelling for the simple fact that they're just going fucking teat to teat, hammer and tongs. They're hitting shots because they're super fucking talented, and the defenses are still really good as well, right? So yeah, the same thing's happening Lakers, Minnesota. Like that shit's crazy. All these series are fantastic. Golden State, Houston's awesome too. But yeah, like just running back and forth and like launching threes. These teams aren't really doing it in the playoffs to the same degree as they would in the regular season, because you have to like basically, I don't know, appreciate and treasure each and every possession more than you would in the regular season. So it's pretty interesting, but it's a great shout by Anthony G. Right, some losers. The Bucks, are they done now, Jim? Yeah, nah. Said on yesterday's show, they nearly won today. It's probably just as well they didn't. Like, you don't want that little false dawn of hope almost. But they're, as I said yesterday, I feel like they have to acknowledge that this era around Giannis is probably done. And the best way forward, probably for him, if he wants to move. If he wants to. If not, then you just keep him around because he's a fucking generational player. You keep him there and you build around him if you want. If he's like pretty cool with going, maybe it's time to sort of go, right, this is the best time for us to cash in now. With no Dame next year, let's see what happens. So yeah, I think they this might be the end of an era for the Bucks and the Bucks fans, which sucks. Because they're fun. The problem is their drafting has been so shit over the years. Wasted pick after wasted pick. And they don't have their own, well, control of their own pick, as I said on yesterday's show, until 2031. It's crazy. The Magic, are they going to be okay? Yeah, nah. Yes, as long as they get fucking somebody to teach Anthony Black how to be a point guard. But as long as they get Suggs back next year, they'll be a fucking super dangerous floater. If they can get one more shooter and a backup half-decent old veteran point guard dude like Chris Paul to help Anthony Black, love him. And finally, can Detroit actually do this? Can they come back and beat this Knicks team? Yeah, nah. I just don't know if they can, but today was awesome. I don't think they can. I think today was just this weird Brunson a bit fucking off. Cat couldn't get going, and here we are. Detroit. I love them. 3-2 is awesome. Going back to Detroit, they could easily make it 7 games though, but wow. Ooh, I'm tempted to say them in 7. But anyway, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I think we should have maybe not so much a designation or like a line of demarcation, but some sort of descriptive term for like an NBA player who's good, but you just can't play them in a playoff game anymore. It's like anytime you hear their name, it's like, oh, it's a good pickup. It's like, can he play in a fucking playoff game? Is he going to be in an 8-man rotation in the playoffs? If not, then we can probably just go, It's like Ben Simmons today, 5 minutes. Kyle Kuzma, what did he have? Like in 18 minutes, 5 points? Well, it wasn't even 18 minutes. What was it in the end? It was 13 minutes. It's just like, come on, what are we doing here? Absolutely brutal. I feel like that should be one of those questions that we ask anytime that someone goes, oh, this guy is signed as a free agent with this team. It's like, is he part of their best 8-man rotation? Could he play for the Knicks against the Pistons? That's all I want to know, right? Otherwise, we're just blowing, like even my good mate Carlos Boozer was on ESPN the other day going, oh, yeah, Giannis should go to the Lakers. It's like, hey, Carlos, how will he do that? They quite literally, legally, I think, they can't do it. It doesn't work. Anyway, whatever. Outback Takehouse for today. It's hump day at Outback, and you know what that means. Oh, yeah. Humps. That's right. It's bloody humps. They're camel humps. What we do is we chop them off the camels, fill them with like chickpeas, mince, some spices and shit. They're fucking delicious, and it's only at Outback. That's right. Stuffed camel humps. Hump day at Outback. And today's Flame Grilled Take is the only way the Rockets and Clippers can get back into their respective series is by playing their Aussies. I'll tell you what, The Rockets could definitely use a scoring big man at this point, so get Jock Landale out there. And the Clippers, it's all about vibes. You better fucking play Patty Mills or you're going to lose the series ASAN fucking P. Only at Outback. But the actual Outback Takehouse, I think the flame grill take is, I wouldn't be giantly surprised if both Houston and the Clippers, who are both down in these series, came back and won them. Right? It also wouldn't be a giant surprise if they both lost the next game and they're done. But I still believe, mostly because I want to keep some more Aussies in the fucking playoffs. But anyway, that leads us very nicely into the Australian player watch for today. It was very brief because, as I mentioned, Box Hill Benny, Ben Simmons played 5 minutes today. He had 1 rebound, 1 block, and did absolutely sweet dick, which is just sort of the classic vibes. -4 in his 5 minutes. Not great. No Johnny Furphy for the Pacers either. Did not play coach's decision. And that is it for the Aussies. So, bit of a sad one. I'd really like, it very much lends itself into this little next bit, which is the great moment in NBA Australia stat history. As soon as I find the button.
Great moments in NBA Straya stat history.
Because it was 4 short years ago in a game that was still due to the COVID season, still regular season at this point, I think. Up against the, still the regular season. Ben Simmons up against the Atlanta Hawks, who, in about a, 6-week time period from this one on, his entire career would change forever. But on this day, 4 years ago, Box Hill Benny had 18, 6 and 5 with a steal and a block. In only 26 minutes. Against a decent Hawks team that they would go on to play against in the actual playoffs, of course. But 18, 6 and 5 for Box Hill Benny. That is a great moment in NBA Australia stat history because how many games, if you had to guess? So in that game, he shot 8 of 10 from the floor. If you had to guess, how many games do you reckon Ben Simmons has had double-digit field goal attempts this season? Because if you guessed, oh, geez, Jim, 2, you'd be right. He went 8 of 10 from the floor in that game 4 years ago. 8 of 10. He has taken 10 shots in April. This month. He's taken 6 shots this entire fucking playoff series, which has now gone to 5 games and heading into a 6th game. It is just absolutely chaos how far Box Hill Benny has fallen to the point where he is just not in an 8-man rotation. Essentially, 5 minutes is fucking nothing in a game against the Denver Nuggets. Like, what are we doing here? Absolutely brutal gear. Anyway, just makes me sad. All right, Paddy Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. This might make me happy. What's Dyson doing? Oh, MCA Penthouses. Nice one. He's just hanging out in Melbourne. Should get him on the show. Dyson, come on NBA Australia. What are you doing? What else has Paddy been up to? Has Paddy got any updates? Come on, Paddy. There we go. One new post. Oh, that's right. Is this your money? I was diagnosed with cancer. Jimmy Darts. This is a kid named Aiden who gave back a bunch of money, and Paddy's wearing a bracelet for him. So that's pretty good. Good on you, Paddy. What a legend. All right, let's do some game previews for tomorrow. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How'd you go today? We went two of the 4 picks today. Got up. Bit of a brutal one. Trusted the Clippers. They really let me down. And Indy just didn't end up stomping Milwaukee like I thought they would. Tomorrow is fascinating, however. So remember, go follow all the picks over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Australia to follow and copy them if that's your thing. Join up using the link in the show description. Bang that through. Or in the link in our bio, etc. And we've got plenty of same gamers. Lots of other picks that go up there. So go check it out. Tomorrow, we have Golden State at Houston. Fascinating setup. Love this game. Cannot wait. Houston at home. Really interesting sort of vibe from the Rockets at the moment, isn't there? Because you sort of think about the way that they end up in Game 4 where they were sort of feeling pretty good about themselves, and then it just all went a little bit sideways on them. They were 29-12 at home this season, the Rockets. And I kind of trust them, I think, in this one. I feel like we're going to have a bit like Jalen Green. He's got to give us something, or else we're completely off the Jalen Green train forever. They're 3.5-point favorites. Game 5, elimination, Houston. Is Ime Udoka going to put a bit of fucking fire underneath him? I reckon they will. I don't know if Jimmy Butler will be as good as he was in Game 4. Let's go the Rockets minus 3.5. I think between Amen Thompson, between the length of Jabari, which they sort of unlocked a little bit, I thought, in Game 4. Fred VanVleet making some shots in Game 4. Hopefully can continue that. But Jalen Green, let's go. We're going to go the Rockets. Just don't trust the Warriors so much in a closeout game on the road. Be a fascinating matchup, though. And then, of course, Minnesota Lakers, the other one. The Lakers are 5.5-point favorites at home. I am going to take Minnesota plus 5.5, but I think the Lakers win this one. I think it's a close one. I think we get a big sort of one of Luka's first moments as a Laker, where he'll either put them ahead very late and get them over the hump. But I think they get it done. I think going home in this spot, facing elimination, just the stench of desperation will be all over them. And I think they pull it out in an absolute ripper of a game. So fingers crossed that's where we land. But I'm going to take Minnesota plus 5.5 just because if it all goes fucking sideways for the Lakers, it could go really sideways, right? And Minnesota, they could get another 43 points out of Ant-Man. But I don't know. I'll take the 5.5. I think the Lakers pull it out just. And that'll be pretty fun. So go follow all those picks. We'll have a bunch of same gamers as well in Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya. Follow along. Plenty of fun. They're pretty good. It's rad. Go check it out. Anyway, that's it for today. What a day it was. Rookie of the Year announced. New coach. New All-Star vibes. That was fun as, if you ask me. So we'll be back at it tomorrow, of course, to wrap up those 2 games for you. I've got to go to the fancy foot Achilles specialist tomorrow, which will be interesting. See what happens. Anyway, in the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube, all the good stuff there. Jump in the comments, say good day, send through some nars via the DMs. Check out NFL Australia as well. Check us a rating and review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you're using the Android phone. It does help out heaps. Just review it, star it, say good day. Just make sure it's 5 stars. Come on, don't fuck around. You can buy us a beer. Go shout us a beer if you want. The link's in the bio as well. And you can obviously follow us over at Dabble. That does help support this pirate ship over here. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule. So to House Hats, Joshua Delaretis, Fascinated, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section A, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Face Apple Music, Spotify. However you listen to your tunes and support your bands, do so. NBA Australia supports Australian bands. So should you. And that is it for today. We will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. It's NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And bing bong. Later, hosen. G'day legends, your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in nars. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old Dabble, use that code NBA Straya, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Straya, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?